Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast, presents episode 834, Scripting a New Multiplayer Experience, recorded live on September 22nd, 2022. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Duststorm.
I'm your other co-host, Godzilla T.
And if I look a little bit different tonight, that's because I'm a little more scrunched in. Construction has been happening.
He's been squished.
And I don't have a fan, so we're probably going to keep this short so I don't start sweating like crazy.
It's actually cool enough that I got the window open.
Nice. It's not quite that cool yet here. But
it's headed your way.
Yeah. I've seen all the articles and like the polar vortex is forming and it's going to be a really cold winter and all that stuff. So, yeah.
No, I don't know about that, but at least cooler weather's headed your way.
No, it's not 55 here, Pence. Although I am heading up somewhat in your direction this weekend.
Well, considering Tuesday it was 99 degrees here.
Oh, jeez. We haven't been that high in a while, at least. Yeah, but if you were 99, you're that cold. Maybe I should check the weather.
It went from 99 to like 68.
I'm gonna check the weather real quick. I mean, we got some nice rain today. That was nice. Oh, it's 66 right now. Oh, I could open the window. If I didn't have stuff blocking it, because that's where everything is. Well, some stuff is sitting.
Stacked?
Well, I mean, some stuff is, yeah, just because I don't have a big hole above me anymore, or where above me used to be. But they still got to mud it and paint it. So, yeah, that's the little update on how my house construction is going. Gosh, it's supposed to get down to 52 tonight. Oh, man, that sounds good. It's supposed to be 68 for a high tomorrow? Okay. Yep, it's coming. It is definitely coming.
I would love to sleep with the window open tonight, but I've got a highway over there where my bedroom is.
Yeah, the noise probably would not be very nice.
Yeah, when you have one of the major thoroughfares through the state passing right by your house, you tend to keep the windows closed.
66?
6?
I-6?
No.
Route 6? Highway 6? Something?
Did you forget where I live?
Yes, but I don't know what interstates go through your...
Well, I'm in the middle of the country, so I'm not going to be on the very bottom of either of the lists.
But it doesn't always work like that, the numbers.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yes, that's how the interstates are numbered.
So what, the low numbers on the west and the high numbers on the east for the odds, and then...
Yes, Pens.
35? Okay.
I-35 and I-70. I-70 is east to west, I-35 is north-south.
But see, we have I-70, and we're not the same latitude.
No, but it's...
Okay.
Yeah, because it goes east to west.
Well, I know the evens were east to west and odds were north to south.
Right.
For some reason, I was questioning myself, and I shouldn't have.
I-6 is like in California.
Well, I know I-5 is in Washington State.
Or something like I forget what.
I don't know. I second guessed myself. I should have not done that, but anyways. Yes, okay. That makes sense. Anyways, moving on. Podtacular stuff. So, how was Dragon Friday last week, GT?
Actually, it was really good. We had a lot of fun. We played some Fracture event, or not Fracture, Yappening. Good news is the Yappening staying around as a regular playlist. So that's good. We did learn that 343 is watching playlist populations, and they will be removing low population playlists. I honestly hope they don't remove the bot playlist, though. Kind of fun just to go in there and just kill bots.
Yeah.
Because I think right now it's at or near the bottom of the playlist.
It is the very bottom.
It is the very bottom of the playlist.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I understand. People don't play Halo to play bots. But it's nice to go in there and just, slaughter. Not to mention it's easy to complete some of the weapon challenges against bots rather than doing it in regular PvP.
Well, in bots is just nice to, like, I don't know at this point what the over-under is for people coming in and, like, trying Halo for the first time. And maybe it's just the bot playlist was for the initial launch of the game until people got there. But it's nice to have those bots there in a matchmaking setting, so someone who's kind of getting used to matchmaking can have a place where they're not getting completely slaughtered.
Yeah, they can kind of learn in a more matchmaking style setting, how to play the game.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing them in the deep end with, especially with true skill being the way it is.
Yeah, and impacting every single playlist. But yeah.
Yeah, like I said before, I don't have a problem with it affecting like 4v4 playlists, but big team, it should be less of a factor.
Alas, yappening is gone for the event. However, like you said, it's coming into a BTP social playlist.
Mm-hmm.
So it is sticking around. But since you mentioned it, go ahead and knock this out of the way. The playlists that are currently out there, ranked from most played to least played, is Quick Play, Ranked Arena, Fiesta, Team Slayer, Big Team Battle, Tactical Slayer, Land Grab, Ranked Doubles, Team Snipers, Rumble Pit, and Bot Boot Camp.
Oh, and the game type I don't like, 12 elimination or whatever it was called.
Oh,
Last Spartan Standing. Thank you. Is going away. Thank you. Don't need it. I mean, I like the concept of it.
The only thing is you need it there for the achievement.
Well, I think it's leaving as a standalone playlist. At least the way they were talking about it. Wait a minute, what achievement?
The Revive 3.
No. Last Spartan Standing.
Oh, that one. Okay. Sorry,
That's
I got confused.
I
forgot. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the other one's staying.
Yeah.
The Last Spartan Standing playlist is going to go away.
Has it been in there?
I think not after this update.
I mean, it came in as a rotation, but I didn't think it's been in there for a while.
No, it's been in there for, after the event, it went into an available playlist.
Oh, as a rotation.
I think now that, as a pickable playlist, you could go in and, like you pick Team Snipers, you could pick Last Spartan Standing. It was just down at the bottom of the list.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Removes a dedicated playlist due to no longer sustaining. Mm-hmm. Okay. Accounted for less than 1% of all player activity.
And I can understand why, because it's really geared to a very specific type of player.
Yes.
And it's generally people that are way above my skill. I don't get me wrong, I gave it 10 games and I just never could I never got to where I could enjoy it.
I mean, honestly, I could see you doing a tournament out of it, though, for an FFA tournament.
An FFA tournament? Yeah. I mean, it's a neat game type.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's... The way they have it currently set, I don't think it works well for a matchmaking playlist.
I hope at some point we get a custom game option for that so people can go and customize, like, when you level up, how many levels you get, what weapons you get. It's funny
you should say that, because they just released this week the Script Brains video.
Oh, I didn't know where you were going that for a second. Yeah, that's true. I did not even connect those dots, but you certainly did. Yeah, we'll get to the Forge scripting and bots video here in a minute, because that was
mind-blowing.
Yeah. But yeah, so if anyone else wants to join us on Fragging Friday, GT hosts it every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have a poll up in our Discord for what people want to play. It's primarily been Halo Infinite a lot lately, but we still do put out the option for MCC and Halo 5. And every once in a while, we'll dip into those. Yeah. So
sometimes when there's a tie, I just pick one.
Yeah. And sometimes it's nice to mix it up. We've also got a new community corner. This is for Wexy Lex, who is a cosplayer, an artist, mostly posts on Instagram, but has done a lot of really, I'll say, unique cosplays. Because we've got a hunter cosplay, we've got a jackal cosplay, and overall, a lot of different inspirations from kind of Halo Reach and Halo 2. It seems like. So there's a whole interview and some really neat pictures. I don't think this is the same. No, this isn't the same hunter that we talked about a long time ago, like the first hunter that got made. But
yeah, this is
their hunter still looks really good.
Yeah, it does. The brute looks freaking vicious too.
Mm-hmm. I mean that's. I don't think that's quite supposed to be Atriox. I don't know if it's a specific brute. It almost looks like Tartarus, but with more color and hair.
Yeah, I can see how you get Tartarus out of that. Actually, I think that is Tartarus.
I think it's supposed to be Tartarus, just with the banished. Yeah. Well, oh, maybe that's not the banished logo. Never mind. Anyways, there's a whole interview up on Halo Waypoint if you want to go check it out. But of the few pictures that are on there, looks like a very, very talented cosplayer. So yeah, I haven't actually heard of them before, so this will be something that I'm gonna dive into. And thank you, Pins, for the link. Keep an eye on all of those for us. Before we get into the meat of Forge, we've got a couple other little announcements. Today is ODST's 13th birthday.
It's a tween!
It is. ODST being probably among the favorite of the Halo community's campaigns. And of course, we got a lot
of... for me.
Yep. We got a lot of crossover for the Firefly fans as well, where half the cast was from Firefly. Excellent story.
Actually, some Easter eggs in there from it too.
Were there? I mean, there has to be, because it's. I mean, whenever there's a Firefly cast, there's always an Easter egg, but nothing in particular is coming to mind at the moment.
Yeah, there was on Uplift Reserve. There was a line that referred to something in Firefly, if I remember correct.
Okay. I mean, I don't doubt it.
But anyway, yeah.
It's been so long since I've played, and there's probably some of those things that are just kind of like buried into the game where you have to really go know where you're looking for or go hunting for it.
Yes, Battlestar Galactica, that is correct, fans. Talking about
Yep.
Commander Dare.
Yep. Veronica Dare.
Veronica.
And Buck. Call me Captain. So yeah, ODST 13 years. I remember like first getting it and hopping into some fire team and firefight. Yeah, not fire team, firefight, and just that whole experience was something else.
I jumped straight into campaign. I wanted that story.
I mean, that was back still in the time of like when Brent was around and G. Lewis. I think like Brent and G. Lewis were some of the first people I played Firefight with back in ODST.
I remember grinding out that Endure achievement.
Yep. 4 sets. Well, at that point, you could do it on Heroic?
You always could do it on Heroic.
Yeah.
Because Bungie tried it on Legendary and they couldn't do it.
So Heroic or harder?
Now, if you really wanted to punish yourself, you could do it. You could do it on
Legendary.
Legendary, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now that was, oh man, that was a grind.
Yeah.
I think it took us like 3.5 hours.
Sounds about right.
And I think I tried it a dozen times. Everybody said, "We'll do it on the Alpha site." No,
we did it on 360. I think may have been it's Last Resort. That's the one in the park, right? I think that's what that.
Oh, the Uplift. The reused Uplift Reserve?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I can't. That's where we did it too, but
I either got on that one or Oni Alpha site.
Yeah, we tried. I tried multiple times on Oni Alpha site. We couldn't. We never.
Is Oni Alpha site the one that's outdoors or up in the tower?
No, Oni Alpha site is the one inside the building, where you have the 2 doors on one side, and then you have the 2 balconies on the other, or the balcony on the other at your back.
Because that one you have a little bit more control over where the enemies come from. But then on Last Resort, you have a lot more flexibility with using vehicles. So as long as you control the vehicles and the Phantoms dropping in the Wraiths, then you actually stood a chance.
It works out really well because every wave you get 2 choppers.
And what, 2 Warthogs that respawn if you're not in them?
Yeah, we didn't even bother with the Warthogs.
Well, we would use a Warthog if we had like 2 choppers already full.
Well, what we did is we had 2 choppers. We had 2 people assigned to taking out choppers. They always had a plasma pistol, and they would go jack the choppers. And then they would just. The nice thing with the choppers is they had a really long range, so you could just hammer them from distance.
Not to mention how much easier they were to drive than they are in Infinite right now.
Oh, geez, yeah,
yeah.
My responsibility was the tanks or wraiths. At every reset, my job was to go get the Spartan laser and take out the tanks, which worked all the way up until like the beginning of the 4th set. Then it started taking 3 shots to kill 1 wraith. So I could kill 1 wraith and just damage another one. So then it became the other guy's challenge to take out the 2nd wraith. So I'd take out the one that spawned up on the hill, where it's a little bit more closed off, and then get a shot on the one out in the opening courtyard area, and then they would finish it off. And then for bonus rounds, we'd all jump into choppers and just, four sides, Phantom, grunts.
Yep. Just mow it all down. Go to town.
Yeah, we usually wind up with a couple of bonus lives, extra lives every time we did a bonus round.
Nice. But yeah, the campaign for ODST is one of the best experiences in Halo. And I think the whole, like, different stories from different people's perspective and just how different each encounter was just kind of sold it on like, oh, this is a really cool, like the storytelling in it, the acting in it. There's like not a bad thing about ODST at
the one thing is they definitely didn't skimp on actors.
No.
They shelled out some big bucks for voice actors. They didn't, they used a lot of name, popular actors that were known. Which,
I mean, that just more or less happened because they've been fans of the game.
A lot of them are fans, but still having experienced actors do that voice work, it helps. And I'm not knocking voice actors; they do a phenomenal job. But having the name recognition actually colors how people perceive the story.
It does.
It's like, you go watch a movie, and if they're your favorite actors in it, they can do just about anything you want, and it's still a good movie.
Right.
But if there's that one actor that you don't like, then the whole movie's trash.
Sure. And Pins brings up the Desperate Measures Vidoc, which was a really good Vidoc to introduce.
That got me hooked.
Yeah. Their whole Vidoc series for everything, like even the Johnson Vidoc for Firefight was great.
Yeah, all of them. But yeah, once I saw the Desperate Measures Vidoc, that night I went over to GameStop, pre-ordered the Legendary Edition, the one that came with the controller. I'm like, nope, we're getting it.
Yep, got the controller and the Xbox right up there.
It's
a pretty green. It's a really pretty green Xbox and controller. It's so nice.
What do you mean Xbox? There was no ODST.
Yeah,
there was not an ODST Xbox. There's a Halo 3 Xbox.
But the
ODST only came with a controller.
I thought this one was I didn't think it was a Halo 3 console. I thought it was an ODST console. Oh, no, hang on.
No. That right behind me is the Halo 3 console. And my can of glass cleaner, if anybody wants to know.
So I guess the controller just happens to be the ODST one, because it has Halo 3 ODST on it, even though it's the same color scheme. So the controller was ODST and the console was 3.
Halo 3.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense then.
Yeah,
but still, one of the coolest controllers ever. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then.
Yes, both my doors are broken.
I was gonna say, I think you're missing something there.
Yeah, the springs gave up on those a long time ago. Actually, around here somewhere, I've got another faceplate, the Halo 3 faceplate, because my
One of
original,
the,
original one finally red ringed at 3 or 4 years. It lasted a long time. I was really surprised. And I was even more surprised that Microsoft fixed it.
And gave it back. Gave you back the Halo 3 one.
Well, I'm sure that's not my.
Well, no, like you still have the case because there's been the stories where like people send in their special edition consoles and they get a plain one back.
Yeah, no, that they sent me back a Halo 3 one.
Good on them.
If they'd sent me back something else, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, I would be too, because you don't want to give away a special edition console like that. Anything else to say about ODST?
Great game. Love it.
Great game. We got a couple other birthdays coming up too pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we have Halo 3 turning 15 next week? I think. September what?
God.
September 25th.
Okay.
So in 3 days.
3 days.
Next week, yeah.
On Sunday, actually.
Yep. And then Halo 2 was a November release. Or no, CE was a November release.
Yeah, I had to get it out for that Christmas holiday season.
Both were November. Halo 4 was a November release. I thought there was another September release for Halo. Oh, Reach, which was the 14th, which was last week.
And pins, Halo 3 PvP fans are always unbearable.
Anyways, moving on. We've also got coming this weekend with HCS Orlando. They're going to be giving away another Halo Infinite console.
Woo-hoo!
So have a if you want a chance to win it, go over to the HCS Twitter account, follow the account, retweet the tweet, and go watch the Orlando Major for the North American Finals, which will be taking place this weekend, September 23rd through the 25th. And for those that are interested, there's going to be a Halo 3 Throwback Throwdown event happening on Sunday between the original Triggers Down and Instinct.
And it's going to be on Halo Infinite.
It's on Halo 3. It's a Halo 3 Throwback Throwdown. Halo 3.
Well, there's a Throwback Throwdown playlist coming to Infinite.
Oh, okay.
That supposedly they were supposed to be playing.
I missed that announcement. Where was that posted?
Don't remember.
Okay.
Let
go
me
find
check.
that one. Someone can go find it. I don't recall hearing about that. Anyways, while you're doing that, let's talk about Forge.
Woohoo!
And all the new stuff that's coming. Yeah. So we got our second issue of Forge Fundamentals. This one focusing on scripting and bots. And oh boy, does this... I think this is like every Forge has had some big milestone that's added to it. I think the scripting and the bots for Infinite's Forge is going to be the thing that really empowers the creative minds of Forge. Like you've got people that can create wonderful maps, but I think for the gameplay experience, we've never had this much control over how the game how the game actually flows. Because you can only do so much of that in map design. So having these scripting pieces is just going to be it's a huge stepping stone for what can be possibly done with customs. I mean, Halo 5, the script brains and what you could do there was definitely a huge step. But the scripting that's being done for Infinite is insane. And we're just scratching the surface because they're still on the back end trying to see, okay, what other things can be exposed for the use of scripting. But you can do almost anything with scripting. So for those who might not know what scripting is, scripting is a way to basically take certain actions or certain what are called events. So think of an event as a certain time being reached, or a certain objective being captured, or a certain object being picked up, or someone going into a specific zone, or someone firing a specific weapon. Those are called events within a scripting or coding scheme. And what you can do with those events is you can do things, or can call things called triggers. So a trigger is what an event basically makes. So if an event happens, you trigger something else to happen, cause and effect. So the example that they gave in the Forge video is when someone throws a grenade, a objective thing pops up on the player's screen.
And before we go any further, this is big for Halo.
Yes.
You can now have that pop-up text, just like a dev designed game mode, telling people what the objective is, or just piece of flavor text, or whatever. Like, goal is survive.
Yep. And you could just fight an onslaught of bots that get harder and harder and harder.
It well, it adds a whole new dimension to custom games, because now you can have text pop up on a screen to describe what the player needs to do, or what the game type name is, or whatever you want, just by starting the game. So, it allows people to figure out what to do. Like the first demo they showed, you throw a grenade, it gave you a rocket launcher is what he intended to do, but he did a sword anyway. But you throw a grenade, and it immediately, you drop your weapons and you are holding a sword.
Yep.
Or a rocket launcher, or whatever you set. The neat thing that I saw in there is that, say you want to, you can actually make it where if it only happens if you throw a certain type of grenade. So you can actually say, on fag grenade throw, give player weapon.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, there's so many different puzzles that you can make with this. There's so many different custom games that are going to come out of this.
Puzzle maps are going to be a nightmare.
Puzzle maps, custom crazy games. People can probably make their own like campaign type experiences, minus like you obviously don't have the voices to go with it, but it's pretty freaking close. If you want a silent style like campaign experience.
Well, who knows what you can do with sound effects and stuff like that too. I mean, a lot of campaign is driven by just the ambient sounds.
Sure, but I mean, you still have a lot of that narrative happening.
You don't have the dialogue. Voiceover.
Yeah.
But you do have a text screen.
Yeah.
So
you convey it that way.
You can convey it that way. But the neat thing that I find, and this is really interesting, I'm kind of curious to see how this works. It looks like the game type is actually built into the map.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, the scripts.
The base game type is just built into the map instead of having a separate set of game type settings.
So, yes and no. It's more by the effect of what the scripts do in the confines of a certain game type. So we mentioned a little bit last week.
I know there's actual, there are game types, but it doesn't look like you're going to have a custom game type to go along with the custom map. You load a base game type. Like I said, that's the way it kind of looks, because you could obviously see in the Forge, to let people know what I'm talking about, they built Juggernaut into this map, into the script brains. You could also see in there was a capture the flag, and a strongholds marker, all on the same map. So it kind of looks to me like that the custom game type is actually part of the map. So
the
yes,
logic,
you do have to.
yeah, it's not the game type is the part of the map, but all the scripts
No,
that are in the map
the
dictate.
scripts assign can assign the weapons to the players as well.
Right, but like if you went into that map and you were doing CTF or Slayer or Strongholds or whatever, that script will trigger for each of those game modes. Because that script wasn't assigned to only trigger on a certain game mode. So,
are you sure?
Yeah. So the thing with
So why did the stronghold and they capture the flag or the flag not appear when he went into test mode?
Because test mode's always Slayer. Unless you go into a test mode and you change the game type. It's similar to how in Halo 5 you had to specify what the base mode you wanted to forge in was going to be. Because you could either have basic forge, or you could go into a Slayer forge, a CTF forge, and kind of dictates whatever happens when you go into that player mode. So there's still confines around what scenario you're going to be forging in. And I don't think they showed this off on stream, and I haven't looked into it, but there might be a toggle in the menus of like, okay, I want to go into play mode for CTF now, instead of having to back out like in Halo 5 and load it into a new mode. And then when you're in Forge, it just shows all those objects because you're in Forge, so it's going to show all those objects. But there's still a play mode.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see how that works.
And I don't know if they'll show it in this video series. The next two topics coming up, I don't think they'll probably touch on that.
Well, it'll be out next, but it should be out.
Well, the next one is lighting and audio, and then file share.
No, I mean Forge is coming out soon, so
yeah, in 2 months.
We'll be able to see how it works.
But the thing with the node graph scripting, very popular in Roblox, which is a hugely popular game, and it's probably one of the easiest ways to learn how to program because it's very simple coding. It's inputs, outputs, and variables. There's some advanced stuff that you can get into it as well. There's other blocks that are kind of like the AND gates and the if then type things, but it's all input output based. So input being you take the state or what something currently is at a given time to dictate whether or not this follow-on action happens based on certain other I'm trying to dumb it down for folks, but kind of based on other criteria of what's happening in the situation or in the game. And it's just there's a way to take, okay, if you want something to happen as in response to something, you can basically do it. That's what scripting allows you to do. And then the bots, that's very, very interesting how they're doing that. So you're basically defining planes that bots can navigate, essentially.
Well, the first thing is the game will automatically generate paths for the bots to follow. The next part of that is you can go in and edit the paths. So if there is something it doesn't auto-generate, you can actually add a path for the bots to take.
And it's not paths as in, I want this bot to follow this path specifically. It is, these are all the spaces that a bot can go to.
I guess probably better say navigation points.
Yeah, they call it a nav mesh in the video. Yeah. But it's basically, what are all the pieces of terrain that a bot can use to move around and interact with the game? And that's what you're basically getting with the nav mesh. So since we as people can see, okay, that's a flat surface I can jump on, the bots need some kind of equivalent where they can see from their virtual brains what can they actually walk on, jump on, all that kind of stuff. And then you don't have to actually script anything. It's just there's the logic and how the AI behavior built into the engine, and the engine just uses that data and kind of calculates, okay, based on what the AI behavior is supposed to do, I'm going to make it do this.
Although it'll be funny if you put a nav marker on something that you can't quite get on. Like a clamber point that's just not quite wide enough. Just enough to grab hold of, but not enough to stand on.
I think there's just the logic in there of being able to judge what that distance is, and there's probably some stuff in there that helps make sure the bots don't try to do something. Yeah,
no, I mean you manually put one in, just to
but
see
you can't.
You
don't manually put in where it can jump.
Yeah, you do. You can manually tell the system that the bot can do this path. They showed an example of it.
The example they showed in the video was being able to define a plane that they can walk on, not the jump up and fall down path.
It was part of the assignment. When they assigned it also assigned a path to where the bot could jump off.
Yeah, but that's auto-generated. That's not...
Like I said.
In that video, it was auto-generated. Whether or not if you can manually do it...
I'm just curious to see what funny stuff we can make the bots do.
I'm now imagining a hamster wheel.
Yeah, me too.
for bots. Just going around in circles.
Oh, even better, an obstacle course.
And you can place bets on which bot wins. It'd be like horse racing, but in Halo.
You can place bets on which bot finishes.
Right? Oh, that'd be funny. Huh.
It'd be interesting to see how well the AI in it handles an obstacle course.
All right, Forgers, you got a challenge.
I want to see it. And
I do too now.
If I find an obstacle course, I'm gonna play it with bots and see what happens. Of course, they'll probably just run around and shoot each other.
Yeah, like is there bot logic that you can use to basically say get from this point to this point?
Well, yeah, you capture the flag, strongholds. All you have to do is put the point at the other end of the obstacle course.
That'd be interesting. I think that covers the core parts of the scripting and the bots. There's just so much potential with scripting.
Oh,
I mean, being a computer scientist, like I definitely have a good enough appreciation for what can be done, and like there's probably some limitations in there that only the forgers know about, that people outside the forgers are probably not going to know what those limitations are, because
the forger's whole purpose is to find the limitations,
right, and then expand those limitations.
Find ways around them.
Yeah, or just say, hey, we want this, and then 343 goes and does it.
Well, as long as it's within the realm of possibility.
Well, it's more just exposing that part of the game engine, but yeah.
They've been asking undo, redo for how long?
I mean,
since like Halo 3?
Yeah, I mean, I only think it's been since really like Halo 4, Halo 2 Anniversary, where it's been really heavily asked for.
I remember him asking pretty heavily in Reach.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry,
that's true.
Wishing it had it when when it launched.
Yeah.
Oh, I really wish it had undo and redo.
And I think
it only took 3 more versions before that.
Halo 4 had a local undo, or they.
I don't know.
Either they had a local undo if you're a single player, or it was in like one of their like pre-release things that they were showing off, and then it was they couldn't do it.
Eric Kibu says no undo. Don't know what he's referring to. If a game or just all of them in general.
Yeah, I don't know. Placeable AI in Forge, that's probably going to be there. I don't imagine it not being there. My question is really, and I wish they went into this a little bit more, and maybe there's a reason why they didn't, but what behavior can you make the bots do? Like, can you make some be aggressive, make some be defensive? Like, if it's in a CTF match, say, okay, I want this bot to be a little bit more on the cautious side and play a little bit more defensive, and I want the rest of these bots to be aggressive. Or maybe I want all the bots to be aggressive.
Well, as far as the bots themselves, I think what they've showed so far is just them playing it in a custom bot arena match.
Yes.
Where they haven't really tweaked the bots other than changing the difficulties of them. Between Marine, ODST, Spartan, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep.
But it would be interesting if there are placeable, like you can place units on a map, if you can change their behavior.
Well, that's what I mean, is the bots that you'd be able to place in the game. Not the ones that just kind of come with the bot arena style bots.
Just clarifying.
Or maybe that's not even a thing, so yeah, right.
I guess we'll find out here in a couple months.
Yeah.
We'll know all of Forge's dirty little secrets.
Not that far away, actually.
No, it's not.
Just surprising.
It's coming quickly.
Yeah. So that's everything that we've got for tonight. I'm starting to get a little toasty over here. I don't know if you can see my sweat yet. But all great content that we have to look forward to. Just have to hold out a little bit longer for Forge to get here. But I believe that's going to be called a wrap for us tonight. For those that are going to Orlando, good luck out there. Be safe and have fun. And I will see some of you all at Worlds when it comes next month. I need to get my plane tickets.
Won't see me.
Nope. But we'll see GT tomorrow for Frackin' Friday.
Well, at least this much of him.
Well, yeah. Still.
That's all right. You don't want to see any of the rest. It's not ready for prime time.
Fair enough. All right. Well, thanks to y'all for listening. Thanks for our people downloading us on the podcast forum. Thanks for those in the Twitch chat. Good to see you all. Good to be back here. Hopefully it will not be too long before I release this episode. Like last week I posted today. But anyways.
Sorry, my fault.
Well, it was only partly your fault. I started keto this week.
Somebody kind of forgot to give somebody the audio portion?
That, and then
kind of slowing down.
Me being busy and then keto. I started keto diet this week with my trainer. So I've been a little lacking in the energy department to do things.
It takes a little getting used to.
Yeah, there's always that whenever you have a massive change in diet, that adjustment phase, and I think I'm through the worst of it, coming back out of it, but I've still got a little bit to go.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening, for watching. We'll catch you all next week. Keep on fragging them trucks. Thank you for listening to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. You can find our podcast on your favorite podcasting service and listen to us live every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. Check out our website, podtacular.com, and join the community on Discord at podtacular.com/discord. If you want to play Halo with us, come join us for Fraggin' Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time and Achieving Halo on Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Become a supporter of the show by sharing the show with your friends and family, or help keep the lights on by subscribing to us on Twitch, donating via PayPal, or becoming a patron alongside Confal, Pens Halo, and Prestige Ace. Until next time, keep on fragging trucks.